Alone. We good? Yup, we're good. Yeah. Hey, yo, one more time. I can't hear you. Okay, all right.
100 miles in running. Still got a full tank. Feel like I ain't did nothing. I'm getting this shit.
What's up, y'all? We back. Another edition of One on One with Bundy McBuckers. I have a very special guest, a man that's been involved with the music industry for a long time, been killing it out here with some of your favorite artists, and then dropping his own fire singles. We're going to get into that. But my brother Calypso, I really appreciate you coming on this podcast with me, dog, man.
Yes,
I've been manifesting this for a while. Every time I see you, I'm like, bro, I got to get you on the pod. I need you to spit some game for these people out here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I got you. Thanks for having me, bro.
Shout out to HORNE for letting us use the studio. We out here in Malibu, up in the mountains.
We are.
Up in the mountains of Malibu, man. It's ridiculous. But let me get my little drinky drink. Hold on one sip. All right, we in here, man. All right, so when I start my podcast, I just like to let the people know a little bit about your background. We don't have to get into too much. Just let's just get into like the generic, where you're from, how you grew up a little bit, stuff like that, man.
All right, cool. Yeah, well, I'm from the Bay Area originally. I was born and raised there. I started my music career there, and then ventured to LA when I was about 17. Worked with Dr. Dre for about 5 years as an audio engineer, and then explored into my production a little more and got Grammy nominated. Worked with Lupe Fiasco to get a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Album of the Year award.
Damn.
Shout out to my man Pooh Bear, who came to work with me in Vegas and put together an incredible record to present to Lupe Fiasco to even get there. Shout out to my man Severe, who I also produced it with. And then I was like heavy in the rap game in the Bay Area as a youngster before I departed to LA. I worked with like artists like Mac Dre, Keek the Sneak, E40, Too Short. I got to work with some of the best in the Bay. Even
These are
like
big names, man.
people like Clyde Carson and the team, Kaz Kaiser. They were like on the verge of blowing up, and they did their thing and went separate and stuff. But they had like a movement going on in the Bay. But yeah, when I got to LA, I really discovered my grassroots of music and like how I'd be able to explore different genres. I was heavy in the rap stuff, and then when I got nominated for a Grammy, I remember it exactly like this. I was at the Grammys watching Elton John's performance with Ed Sheeran the first year Ed Sheeran made his rounds and became a superstar, and I was like, damn, like I really got to explore different genres of music because I love music so much. I love instrumentation, like live instrumentation in music, and I'm a producer, I'm not necessarily a beat maker. So like there's times where I'm in the room with musicians, right, and they're like fully playing instruments and I'm directing them, and maybe I'm involved with some instrumentation, and there's times where I'm picking up the instruments myself, you know what I mean, getting the work done myself. I like my love for music has got me into different places of how I want to produce nowadays, right? But I was super stubborn about just doing rap music only until I broke out of that. I've had the privilege to DJ for like people like Flo Rida. I explored my DJ career. I broke myself as a DJ in 2006, meaning that I performed for my first time in front of any audience in Brazil on a 3-stop tour in 2006, right? So I was always in the studio messing around with the DJ equipment. My man Mike Kim, who I started making music with in the Bay as a kid, who was my best friend, like taught me the ones and twos, and we started making beats together and like doing some vocal stuff, MC stuff, and yeah, so like now I'm like I've identified myself as an artist through all these years of producing for other artists and songwriting and stuff like that. So my artistry consists of producing my records and either vocally appearing on them or just not, and hosting the record like what I did with my latest single, Lowrider. I pretty much produced that record with my man Kid Jupiter and hosted the song as me as the main artist, right? With Dogface on there, Snoop Dogg, War, and then we put an incredible music video together. And
we're going to get into that. We'll
get into that. But that's like my A to Z, like on like kind of in a nutshell of like how I came up as a kid in the Bay, where I started, and where I'm at right now, like, cause I'm focused on my artistry, on myself. I'm also working with other artists still to this day and producing for them. Like HORNE is somebody I super believe in,
That's
and
our
we all
brothers.
know, yeah,
That's our
our brothers,
yeah.
right? So like, that's pretty much what I do.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So being from the Bay, man, what was the temperature like out there, man, as far as music? What was that turning point when you was a kid where you was like, yo, this music lane is just what I'm super passionate about, where I want to take my life?
Right. Well, I was super inspired by Dr. Dre a lot, so that's what got me to LA. So like when I was in the Bay, I was super inspired by just making music within my own culture, because we actually had a culture of music in the Bay Area that was really rocking. You know, like E40, for example. Even somebody I was a big fan of as a kid is Master P. Master P is really from Louisiana, but he came to Richmond, California and got his hustle on and sold music out of his trunk. He was also selling other things out there as well that we probably shouldn't talk about as well. Yeah, but that's his business, you know. But like, I was a huge fan of his hustle, and the fact that he came from another territory and coming into the Bay, like, you can't just come out there and like take over like he did. Like he paved the way to gain respect by like the locals there that were coming up doing rap music, and just like the territories. I mean, he came to another hood called Richmond and stuff and prevailed and did very well for himself and started his record label, which was very successful, and everybody should know who Master P was and what his run was, you know, as well. So I was inspired by that a lot, and that's what got me into the niche. I was hustling my beats when I was a kid in the Bay, selling beats for $250, $200, $500 here and there, you know. So it was a hustle to me. Like every week, that's how I was clocking my bread to put in my pocket, right? When I was doing it and stuff. But I like never made music because of money and stuff. I just turned a side of it into a hustle to where I was keeping money coming in from the music, but I always just loved doing music. I'm still to this day, like, I'm in the studio mostly out of the year, not generating something from being in that session at that moment. It's a seed planter for somebody, something I'm gonna place with somebody, or I'm gonna give to somebody later on when the time is right, when the sound clicks of whatever I made. So that venture got me to go to LA at some point, because I was like exploring my talent and found super versatility within my musical capabilities during that process, and was like, you know what, I need to be in a place like LA where I can express myself as a musician a lot more. And I was super inspired by Dr. Dre, so I dreamed of working with him enough, got myself out there, and then just pursued it, and, you know, clicked with a guy that took me there.
So when you came to LA, did you know people out here? Did you already have the connections, or did you come out here and just hustled your way into meeting Dr. Dre and all that stuff?
That's a great question. I came kind of on my own with very minimal connections and got into the promotion scene. I was promoting nightclubs at the age 18 with a huge nightclub promoter that was doing A-list parties, like on Mondays and Tuesdays, when those were the A-list party days, right? It's pretty crazy, but like I'd be in the mix with all these huge celebrities, and met a guy named Shaggy Brown, who like got behind my talent and like explored making me relationships and got me, you know, into a management living situation, which got me to a guy that took me to Dr. Dre and so forth. But he's like somebody that's super important to me because he's been there like from when I was doing the promotion stuff in LA and stuff. So that's kind of how I started. Like, and I was bouncing from couch to couch, got my own apartments. I was broke, going back to the Bay, living at mom and dad's house, driving back with all my stuff to LA, starting over again. That happened for 10 years before I saw anything actually return to me, and I was actually like doing stuff out here to where I could like be sustainable and have my own place, and then eventually made a family, and now I'm from LA, you know, my kids are, you know, so it's a trip.
Yo, and the fact that you put in that groundwork, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think, and sometimes a lot of people do just get lucky enough for it to just happen for them right away, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people, including myself and the people I'm around, we're grinding, you know what I'm saying? And we might not see that light at the end of the tunnel yet, man, but we know we just got to get through it. Because me personally, I don't want to work for nobody else.
Right.
You feel me? I mean, I'm going to end up being, sometimes I'm going to be an employee, like, you know what I'm saying? But I want it to be something that I like doing, right? Instead of getting stuck in a rat race and everything like that. So, man, I tell my girl all the time, man, we ain't stopping.
Yeah,
we ain't stopping. I don't give a damn. It's too far to turn back now.
I love
we
that.
We got to see what's at the end of this tunnel. 100%. You know what I'm saying? So, you did that. You did your grind. How was that shock of the first time? Because I mean, doctor, one of the pioneers,
Yeah.
like one of the biggest names ever in music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What is that shock of being in the studio with him? How's his demeanor in the studio? Like,
Dude, he is serious business. He's everything that I studied him to be honest. Even his techniques were things that I was already following up on, like reading through like Mix Magazine, through some of his engineers speaking out on some techniques and stuff like that. Like I'm a nerd when it comes to engineering and tips and tricks and stuff like that, of the audio aspects and just the dynamics of making music, right? So like I studied the shit out of that and noticed that I wasn't too far off with some of the things that I was already doing, but boy did I learn a lot. And I wasn't just working there for like 4 to 5 years as an intern, by the way, like never paid, right? Like paid engineers would be sitting on the couch while my man Slim was paving the way for me to be the engineer. You know, shout out to him. I mean, he broke that way for me and like allowed me to walk through that door. But his personal engineers that he's had, like Vito and Roberto Reyes, like they saw a relationship within me, and like they liked me enough to where they took time with me as well, which was really nice. You know, like I learned a lot because I guess I stood out to them as a friend and as somebody that was around enough. And, you know, like I learned a lot from that. I mean, I tell people still to this day, bro, that's trying to follow up on my background. I'll pull it off like this. I'll be like, hell, well, shit, I went to the University of Dr. Dre. You know what I mean?
God.
Like, that's where I learned my audio engineering.
Right. Oh my God. How do you even argue with that?
You can't.
That shuts the
You
room
fucking
down
can't.
right there.
Yeah, everybody
like,
knows
what,
how
are you crazy.
Yeah, everybody knows how sharp Dre has been with his dynamics and his music, and how he like does his stuff. So there's a level of respect of like how good his shit sounds, right? So being under that like team of people, right, like learning and educating myself, like I really felt that I was in a university learning, and I was paying attention. I mean, like there was times that it was fun, and I like, and Slim would always give me a back room to make beats in and stuff like that too. So I was actively making beats while I was around on the nights that I didn't have to really work, and I was there. And listen, like Record One, like Dre's studio was like an apartment to us, because Slim would book it for like 48 hours and he would need me there, right? So I'd be sleeping there, like literally, you know, like, and then we'd go home after 2 days. You know, so it was like we damn near lived at Dre's studio, and I learned fucking a fuck ton because I was paying attention and I wanted to, and I took it when I parted ways peacefully. I was like, all right, I'm about to focus on my production now. And that same year I did that, I made a record with Pooh Bear, the one I mentioned with Lupe. We got nominated for a Grammy. I started really seeing it out, you know, but there was purpose behind why I was on hold with my production during that time period with Dr. Dre, and it was to steadily focus on getting the sound right. Your
own personal sound that you wanted to
yeah, it's just
cultivate?
the dynamic. It's just the dynamic of it. Like not even just the sound of production itself, but like the engineering aspect of it, the dynamics, the science.
I feel like that might be the most important part of the song, man. An engineer can make or break an artist.
100%, especially these days, because like music can be so tedious and just so like dumbed down these days that the dynamics of it is what brings people in, right? It's not really so much, especially in urban music. Like, let's be real, like the musical aspect in urban music doesn't exist enough anymore, right? And it doesn't have to. You know why? Because these new gen listeners are not even looking for that. They're looking for a vibe, right? And a vibe doesn't have to be created by musical. A vibe could be created by something very simple, but the dynamics, like you were making a point of, can really surface that vibe, right? Because it hits, it thumps, it makes you feel a certain way when you're grasping that one bass line that follows the other 5 instruments that's in that record.
And that's where I grew up on. Like, I was that, like, music nerd where it's like I never got into playing instruments, anything like that, but I listened to music all day, every day. And, like, I would start focusing on, like, the one instrument that's in the back that pops in every 32 seconds or something like that. It would just be that would fascinate me, that would draw me into songs, you know what I'm saying? So I found different ways to listen to music. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Shit, my dad, when I was growing up, elementary school, man, I'd come home. My dad used to make me read and write for an hour before I could do anything, but he would let me write lyrics. So I would literally be writing Tupac lyrics. Like, I'd be listening to the song, listen to like 8 bars, and then just try to like write that shit down.
You had a good dad.
You know what I'm saying?
You had a good dad.
My dad was a
shout
shit,
out to
bro.
your dad.
My pops was a man. I hope you get to meet him sometime, man.
Shout out to your dad.
Single father did his thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good dad right there.
Right there.
That's respect. I'm a dad too, so I'm a dad of 2. So like when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, that's a good dad.
I had to stand in the kitchen and perform that shit.
Hey,
so
see?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm about to come. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're cussing all types of shit.
Dope.
Yeah,
that's dope,
shit,
bro.
Man. Shout out
I love
Pops.
that. Yeah,
Michael
man.
Hurd, man, that's my dog, man.
Yo, that's fire,
the nuts
man.
I came from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, that's dope, bro. No wonder why you came out so good, bro.
Blessings, bro. Blessings, man. I'm still working on myself too.
Of course, we all are, bro.
Still a lot of things I'm not satisfied in. You know,
I hear you.
Either personality-wise, relationship-wise, you know, stuff I need to focus on. But as long as I'm on this earth, I'm gonna keep building. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep working on myself. My dog Cliff, though, man. God damn,
yes, sir,
I appreciate
bro.
you being in here, man.
Of course.
All right, so let's get into your own personal singles, man. You know what I'm saying? When did you start dropping singles for yourself? When did you start putting out music as Clipso?
Okay, so that was like 2018. There was a record I did with this young lady named Milana, who I was songwriting with for years. And I put out a song called Down with her on the song, like with the vocals. And I think I co-wrote a little bit with her. I produced it with a friend of mine from the Bay. And I released it, and I world premiered it on like the biggest pop station in the Bay, 99.7 Now, which was really cool. Shout out to Jazzy Jim who did the world premiere on that, and he dropped the bomb for us and all that good stuff. And then I worked with R.K. Jackson for a while. Remember him? So I was working with him, and we started releasing songs right after that. And I worked with him for a long time to get to that point, right? Because like we went through like a phase of songwriting and then working on his artistry and found a sound and then just built on it and grabbed a huge catalog and was like, okay, this is the time, right? And we just kind of attacked it. So then I got into that, and then Lowrider came up, right?
Let's get into Lowrider.
Yeah.
Let's get into Lowrider. So this man did a song called Lowrider featuring Cheech and Chong. It's got War, you know War?
Yeah.
So War's on that. Cheech and Chong made an appearance in there. George Lopez was in there. Snoop was on the song. Snoop Doggy Dogg was on the song.
Yeah.
Yo, the video was crazy. It looked like so much fun. I was out of town, so I wasn't able to make that.
Yeah.
Oh, but man, it looked so much fun, man. Tell us a little bit how that even got started. What was how you even get that idea to like remake that song?
Good question. So Gina Rodriguez, who's like a great friend of mine and somebody that I work with a lot, right? She manages Dogface. She picked him up like the day after he went viral.
And Dogface, my bad. I forgot to mention Dogface on the track.
Yep. So and it's important that we bring him up because it all stemmed with me wanting to do a song for him and break him as an artist, right? Like nobody knew that he was heading into becoming an artist, right? So I had this idea that I ran past Gina, like, yo, maybe we turn in Dogface into an artist. And she was like, maybe I like the idea, but let's just see how time plays and stuff like that. She didn't shoot it down, but she was like more so looking for the right time to let it come to her. Right. And then time passed, and then again it came up again, and I'm thinking, I was talking to A.B. Quintanilla at the time a lot, who's Selena's brother. A.B. Quintanilla is the guy
like the Selena?
The Selena. He's the guy that produced Selena's records.
Wow.
Like, if you guys watch the show, Selena, he's the guy that was producing all the records. He's her brother that played the bass in her band, but was also producing all the records, right? And he's known as the Cumbia King, the genre Cumbia, because he was like the king of like creating that sound with Selena, right? So I was talking to him a lot. It all started with me watching the show, being heartfelt towards it. I'm like, dude, like these people, I feel like I know these people after I watched the show. And I knew who Selena was, been a big fan of her records because I grew up through the 90s. I was born in '83. So of course I knew who Selena was and stuff like that, and heard about her death and all that stuff. So when the show came around, me and my baby mama were watching it, and just like I got so heartfelt about it, I started DMing him. I was like, yo, bro, it's nothing but respect. Watching this show like just lights a candle for me, you know, and it's super inspirational. I just wanted to just share my love. I wrote him a nice note. And he responded, was like, hey, man, thank you for the nice words. So this and this, I see you're doing your thing, this and that. And then I was like, maybe we can catch up sometime. He didn't hesitate, shot me his number. He's like, call me next Wednesday. Called him next Wednesday. I told him what I was up to. Told him about the idea. I thought it was safe to tell him about the idea about working with Dogface, right? Because he's in the Latin community. He's done what he's done. And I was like, maybe this is just the right. And we sparked the whole conversation. He was like, you know what? Maybe we remake War's song, Cisco Kid. Right? Like we went as far as of a creative idea and thought of a remake, right? Which was War. It was still War, the people that made Lowrider. Right. Then like we didn't really agree to how all things could work out, and it just kind of disintegrated through time. And then I'm in the studio with my man Ali Darwish at his office at Black Star in Studio City.
Shout out Ali.
Shout out to Ali. That's my brother, cousin, loved one for many years. What's so funny is me and him are sitting in his office, just politicking as usual. I'm like, man, you know, I definitely want to do this song with Dogface. I was talking to AB and it just didn't work out. He was like, bro, this is what you do. Remake Lowrider by War. He suggested another song by War as well, like strangely. So then I'm like, you know what? The universe is talking to me. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went into the studio and just made the beat with my man Kid Jupiter, and that was like a couple days before we had like the stems of it, right? The skeleton stems. Right. And then I'm like, all right, you know what, Gina? I called Gina. I'm like, yo. She's like, it's time. Let's do it. I'm like, all right,
lining up.
So right away, I look up War's attorney information online, and I call him. I emailed him. And we set up a call. I spoke with him, was like, yo, I want to remake Lowrider with Dogface, but I don't want to do it if you guys ain't going to clear it. And you know you're not. If it's inappropriate with the timing, with my idea, whatever, I just need to know these things before I pull that man in the studio with me and use up any more time. We made the beat already, but don't want to call him out, right? If he was like, nah, I think we're going to like the idea, but let me confirm. Gets back to me a day later or two and was like, yo, listen, man. They want to do it. So like have him record his parts and send it to us before we actually fully consider. So I got with Dogface, had him come to LA. We did a full song on it, right? It was just a full Dogface song.
So he had how many verses did he have?
Two.
Two on the But he had three on the
He had two.
Oh, we kept the same two, but we
No, he only has one on the original. We did a full song with him at first, right? And then I got the vocals from War, the old vocals. I put them in, like the actual original vocals that were off the tape machine and all that.
Fire.
Yeah, put those in. Those were really fun to play with, especially because I love audio engineering. I'm a kid in a candy store when I get to touch stuff like that. Like it's like I got my hairs were like sticking up like when the email came in. I was like, oh no, like I got the original vocals.
Damn.
That's how crazy shit like that feels to me, right? Because I love this shit. So we put it all together, send it back to them. They're like, yo, this is a go. And we're like, we're probably not done with it. We're probably going to reach out to some big features. We were thinking Snoop and Wiz, right? Right away. We send it to Snoop. Snoop's like, I want to do it, right? Uncle Snoop. You got 24 hours to get me this. And I'm not going to tell you guys what this is, okay? But he was like, you got 24 hours to get me this. So what I did, and he's like, I'm going to do it, that in the video. So what I did was I didn't have what this was on me, right? Or didn't have any access to it in California.
Right.
So I had to ask a friend that has their family members in another state to let me hold it temporarily. I flew out immediately to Arizona to go pick that up. And it was all in 20s. Oh, God. And I flew back.
Yeah. All in 20s. Oh, my God.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. It was a lot of 20s.
Oh,
put it that way.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But it was fine. I couldn't complain.
Snoop, man.
Yo, so I fly back, get the verse from that man, right? Fire verse. everything just started coming together like a domino effect. We had a lot of shout out to my sponsors that got involved. They are so fucking incredible for like pulling this through with us. And I always told them, because it took so long to release it, that the shit's gonna take some time. Don't worry. A lot of them started breathing down my neck as if I was like gassing them, or as if like it was taking too long. And they pulled through and stayed patient, and they saw and they got what they deserved for what they contributed, you know. So we were able to cover all of our ends to be able to make this happen through the sponsors that believed in what we were doing, that wanted to be attached to it, right? Fine. So we were able to pull the whole thing off ourselves, independently. We launched it with Boom Records. Shout out to Tyler Henry and our homie Felipe, who like got behind it over there, and they really pressed the issue on getting huge playlists for us. You know, we premiered it on the Zane Lowe show on Apple Music the day it dropped. We gave them the exclusive because they wanted to drop it and speak on it on air while they were doing their thing. We dropped it on 4/20 of 2022. And we had a great run with that, doing it independently. So that's my last single that I did, right? And to cap on the video, so the music video was put together, right? This was before we released it, and like you said, yeah, we brought Cheech and Chong. Like, I didn't even realize we were bringing Cheech and Chong back together for their first time in a long time until it was done already.
That was their first time,
that
like,
was their
on
first
camera
time.
doing some stuff in a long time?
In a long time.
Wow.
Not only that, man, I had a vision for this music video, and I hired the right people to work with me. Rest in peace, Chaz Williams, who's a great friend, ex-partner of mine that I shared a studio with, incredible director. He came on board I brought him out of retirement, and he didn't want to do it, and he came back and did this with me, and he executive produced it by my side. And Jason Paul of 8-in-1 Productions directed it with me, but I had so much involvement in it. Like, I damn near, you know, like, I executive produced it, I produced it, I wrote the script for Cheech and Chong. I had to become them in my backyard, like 5 nights before we shot the video. I literally had to become them,
was in the
bro.
back, like
I was in the back. I smoked like 5 joints, to be honest.
Oh my God.
And then it came to me, right? I'm in my backyard by myself in my old house where my baby mom lives. I'm on my phone. I'm looking at the notes. I'm like, not yet. Not yet. Hey, man, do you have a lighter, man? I swear to God, it's exactly how it came to me, bro.
I mean, it's like,
It's
hey,
exactly
man,
how
you
it
got a
came to
lighter,
me. Swear to God.
No lie.
And they love the script, bro. When I like, this is my first time on a set of a music video, obviously, right? Or even a film, whatever, because the music video has like a 2-minute mini film before the music video starts, right? So, and that's what I wanted. And I felt like if I would have let it go in other people's hands, and these are professionals that I put together, it would have been done right, but it would have been a little off track of my vision. Right. So I made sure that I wanted to be involved the whole time. Like, I was blood, sweat, and tears in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just making sure that I was behind the whole shit to make sure what I had in my head of how I visualized this shit to come out. And it's a trophy to me, because like I literally look at it like, damn, like, I'm glad. I remind myself every time I look at it, I'm glad that I stood behind it as much as I did. I stressed a lot about it. It's, you know, like, I'm not only the producer and the artist, but I'm also the label. I'm also everything else happening.
You have
to
handle
with it.
Everything, all aspects.
Everything, man. And my dad taught me that, man. I can't, you know, go without shouting him out, because my dad showed me in his restaurants and his bakery businesses. He's like, you know how I'm so successful and how I know what everybody's doing here? It's like, I know how to do everything they're doing. And I made myself learn that. Yeah. You know what I mean? He taught me that, and it stuck with me for a long time, and that's probably the reason why I treated Low Rider the same way, because I felt like it was my baby, like my dad's businesses were his baby, and I just treated it the same way.
This is me and my podcast, man. It's my baby.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, man. But I feel that. Shout out to the dads out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm real glad that you had a family structure and a father to teach you some good things.
Me too,
that's
man.
important out there, man. A lot of people, even single mothers, man, I feel like those kids are definitely missing out on what they should be. I know I missed out on like the feminine aspect on things when I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? I had like aunties and like grandma and shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like
Right.
being raised by a man is completely different than being raised by a woman. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So like I felt that and I seen that. But not to get off track, man. So we're messing with Lowrider, right? We're at the video shoot for Lowrider, right? What's going through your head? Like, was there a time where you're like, yo, look at what's going on. Look what I'm doing here, man. Look what I have put together, bro. Like, look at this.
Bro, there was so much haywireness, bro. Like, when we shot at the studio in Burbank, we're in Burbank. The police in Burbank don't play. They're crazy about permits, right? Yeah. We got as much permits as we could, right? And then there was like, okay, just to throw this out there. Shout out to my man Long Beach Lloyd, who runs a lowrider club out at Long Beach, right? And who assembled fucking so many lowriders to show up to Burbank.
It was dope.
It was so dope. He brought so many beautiful looking lowriders, including his, right? And like police were already there breathing down our neck. Like,
they were there the whole time?
Like, we had to get them off of our neck. Like, and we had to make some adjustments of how much was going on that wasn't parked in the studio lot, that was out, because it was so much that it was out in the streets.
It was spilling out.
It was spilling out, right? And like, you know, you can't bring that many lowriders, and Long Beach Lloyd knows this. You can't bring that many lowriders to something like that and just be like, tone it down.
No,
you don't do that. So I wasn't interested in telling nobody to tone it down. Yeah. I knew he was the man to talk to. So after I spoke to the police with my whole team that was producing this, I'm like, what do we got to do here? Because we're not stopping the show, but we want to be nice about it and respect what's going on, right? So just give us like some format. And they told us, and they were being cool about it, and they were like, we'll go away after you do this. So I went and talked to him and was like, man, like, you know.
That's the only problem going on.
This is the only situation.
I understand that we party and we
Man,
out here.
he damn near snapped and made everything just float away, bro. Like, that's how connected my man's is, bro. Yeah, he's something. He's a good dude, and he rode with me through the whole duration of the music video, because we did additional shots too in Hollywood. And he came out for that, and he's a good dude, bro. Like, I really mess with Long Beach Lloyd, and yeah, I mean, yeah. So the feelings that I got from filming it were spectacular, but not as much as I would want to feel them as being a featured artist on it versus the guy that's captaining the whole thing. Right. You know, because like I'm like,
you don't get a chance.
I'm running around like you know, like a chicken with his head cut off. And unfortunately, after I dropped the record, like that weekend, things didn't work out with my family, so I'm leaving the house, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like that,
real
like
life problems.
That,
and you still got the business and everything. All these people waiting on you for this
it's
stuff.
It's insane, bro. Like I literally just brought myself out to the world as an artist for my first time, and that same weekend, like it doesn't work out with my family, right? So like I'm not being with them anymore and stuff, and it was like very strange to feel all these feelings. So just, it's been a crazy ride, you know what I mean? Like
you weren't really able to enjoy everything you were supposed to enjoy.
A lot of people say that, but I did, but like it was like in sporadic moments, not as much as maybe one should have deserved to feel like, especially after putting in so much work for like a year and a half trying to get that moment to happen the right way, and it does, right? And it like, it's explosive. I mean, the record release party, the weekend of the release, was incredible.
Where was that at?
We had it in Hollywood off of
Mel's Diner.
No, right? We were gonna do it at Mel's Diner, but we did it at the Sunset Room, and that's like kind of like in Hollywood by Vine in Hollywood.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I know.
Incredible venue. We pulled it off 3 days before we departed ways from Mel's Diner before the event. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, it was a blessing that we did that, because Mel's Diner was gonna only hold us to like so many people within like the low hundreds, and we had like 1,100 people show up, bro.
Damn.
And the Sunset Room filled that perfectly. I mean, we had War
and
perform.
I was out of town for that again.
You were.
Bro,
I remember that.
It's so crazy. I was so upset. I'm watching everybody's story. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy.
It was epic. It was epic, man.
I was mad I couldn't support my brother Clip, so man, it was just. Man, amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, we had War perform for 45, full performance, you know, of War. Cheech hosted it with me. We decked the party out like it was like a carnival, so there was carnival games, free food. We were giving out free weed and products and all kinds of stuff. I wanted to make it a night for people to remember and to leave with stuff with, right? To remember that, you know, like, so I fought for that. And, you know, again, shout out to all my sponsors that work with me on this, because they're the ones that, like, financially came on our side to make a lot of that stuff happen, right? To give the products, to be there, to cover the ends, to make all those things happen, to make it such an elegant night, right? So yeah, that's, I mean, I'm like over that, like still riding the wave, and it's growing, and it's a seed that we planted. Lowrider's a seed we planted. It's always gonna be loved. It's a special, you know. We've recreated a moment of an old tune, right, with some of the same players that were involved with it. Like Cheech and Chong has a movie called Up in Smoke, and Lowrider was the title song of that movie, and that's what essentially helped that song gain its wheels, because Up in Smoke was such a popular movie back in the 80s or in the 70s or whenever it came out. Excuse me for not knowing. And then George Lopez, he had a TV show too, and he used it as his opening song, right?
Yeah, okay,
yeah. So like,
for sure.
so like, there's a lot of history that we tied back together to make this, and bringing Snoop to it, like, really helped a lot. Shout out to Snoop for even wanting to be a part of this. That's amazing of him, right? And you know what really got to me after it was released, that I didn't even expect to happen. That's super powerful. A lot of the comments on the YouTube, on my YouTube channel for Lowrider, populated as like, Snoop's incredible for doing this. He's helping Black and Brown get back together. So now there's a cultural movement, a political movement of the differences between skin colors coming together, right? Which is important. LA suffered from that for a long time, still is. So that's probably why a lot of those comments popped up, because people are seeing it as a culture shock, right? And they're embracing it as like a positive thing. Like, you know, two different cultures are coming together right now. Exactly. You know, and that's, to me, like, that touched my heart when I saw that, because I didn't even realize we were going to do that. Right. So I'm like, wow, okay, this is good. Good thing I did this. Thank you, God. Like, I'm like thinking of like positive ways to like think of God in that moment, because like that was hidden from me. Like, you know, obviously you could have thought that out and thought that could have happened, but it didn't even once cross my mind, because I was so busy trying to make everything right the whole time. I didn't even think what the outcomes could be, right?
But the fact that you weren't even thinking about like, hey man, Black, Brown, anything like that, it just happened organically.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best part about it.
Yeah, it did. It did. It was a great surprise and a touch of my heart. So yeah, man, a lot of positive things from that, and it's still growing. Like I said, it's like a seed we planted, and it was a great start for my career. So I took down off of my profile, so I wanted Lowrider to be my fresh start, right? Okay. So I'm gonna come back and create another single, right, that I'm gonna release soon and follow up and keep going down this road. But everything is gonna be bigger, maybe different genres that I'm gonna play with, of course, you know, because
I've heard a few.
Yeah,
I've heard a few.
I know you have.
Yeah, you performed a couple of something for the
people,
man.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, because I wanna test it out, and even in front of like groups of people that we know, you know, just to get feedback and to understand where I'm going, to feel myself, to see how I am on stage and stuff like that. The whole nine. I'm incredible when it comes to DJ performances and stuff like that, but when it comes to vocally performing, it's new territory for me. So it's something that I want to test the waters with and explore and become great at, right? So yeah, I'm definitely exploring opportunities like that.
Hey, y'all tap into Calypso music, man. That shit makes you move.
Thanks,
man.
The
last song you performed is something dope, man. I really like that vibe, man. It was like, I was in the corner like, So congratulations on everything you got going on music-wise. There was something that I heard about that I kind of want to talk about with you. You know, a few years back, my man made everybody in the United States mad. A good percentage of the people was mad in the United States because he did an interview with Inside Edition.
He did.
Talking about Teslas, everything like that. So we had a reporter in the passenger seat with him. This man puts the Tesla on autopilot and puts his feet out the window, says, hey, take a selfie with me. Like, we're all good. Like, and it just caused an outrage, man. So tell us a little bit about how that even got started and everything that went into that and that backlash in itself.
Yeah, so I was on tour in 2017 called the Boys of Summer Tour. That was a cross-country tour, full nationwide tour. and I was DJing on that tour. And what happened was I was getting sponsored by Tesla almost every other spot or every spot that I was stopping at on this tour, meaning that I'd go to their dealership, they'd shoot me a car, right, just for promo purposes. I'd post and tag them, take pictures and stuff with it. And just at that time, the new autopilot feature had just got released, right? So I'm on different freeways all across this country, just playing with autopilot, going loose. I'm young, fun, having fun. I ain't have a kid yet, you know what I mean? So I'm just young, enjoying myself before God knew he was gonna give me a kid. So he's like, here goes your last little run before you have a kid, you know what I mean? Like of being a knucklehead. So I'm like, God, if you check my phone, Bundy, you see all these videos of me like with my legs out the window while it's in autopilot, filming different freeways. I'm in New York, I'm in Carolina, I'm in Florida, I'm in the Midwest. I'm from where you're from. Hey, you know,
like wherever you're from, I was there.
I was there.
Legs out the window.
Bro, I have a fucking tour book full of these
so
videos, right?
That's so funny.
And I'm Snapchatting a lot of them, Instagramming all kinds of stuff, having fun. I get back in between the tour because it was like 2 legs of the tour. They gave us a week break. I get back to LA. LA dealership's like, yo, we'll give you one for a week, you know, so you can relax with a Tesla or whatever. I'm like, cool, that's nice of you guys, because I don't want to drive my girl's BMW, my girl that I had at the time. I would rather drive a fast Tesla. So they give it to me. I'm cruising with it for the week. Here I am dropping it off to them before I go catch a plane to go back on tour. I'm driving up the 101 going north. My man Mohammed's in my passenger seat. My legs are out the window. I'm Snapchatting myself with my phone, not even looking out the window. And you see a cop on a bike pass by, but I don't notice him in real life. I notice him on the screen of my phone. I'm like, oh, it's real. Like you see the guy pull up on the phone as I'm Snapchatting, all in real time. I know it sounds like a script, but it's real. It's so funny. Oh my God, he pulls me over. And he is so fucking pissed. He doesn't know what to do, bro. And me and my boy are laughing the whole time. So he's even more pissed. Oh my God. So long story short, he ticketed me for 3 different things, right? I stretched the ticket out for a year before I get back into court. I go to court. He shows up. It gets dismissed.
He showed up and it still gets dismissed?
It gets dismissed because I brought a pamphlet. He wrote me up for unsafe driving at a slow speed, talking on my phone, and reckless driving, right? So I showed a Tesla pamphlet that shows autopilot, how it functions in traffic, because it was on and off traffic, so I wasn't going at an unsafe slow speed. He was mad that we were laughing at him.
Right, yeah, I feel that,
I felt like he was gonna honestly ticket me for one thing, but when we were laughing so much, he was like, fuck this guy.
Right, exactly.
I'm adding a couple more. Come on, let's be real.
I know, I feel
right?
that.
So I show up with the pamphlet from Tesla. That got me away from reckless driving, and because the reckless driving thing, that's just the DMV. He's saying I'm reckless driving for having my legs out the window, but it's the same thing as having your arm out the window. People drive with their arm out the window legally.
Hitting pedals with your arm.
The thing about it is, yeah, you're not, but there's not a rule that says you can't put body parts out the window in the DMV handbook, right? So we made that clear in court. All right, reckless driving. Reckless driving is out the picture, right? And the phone thing, talking on my phone. Your Honor, look at my phone records. During this time period, I wasn't talking on my phone. Okay, talking on the phone is out. Driving at an unsafe slow speed. Hand him the Tesla pamphlet. Your Honor, Tesla says that autopilot is really good and accurate when it's in traffic. We're in midday traffic where it's going on and off, right? Okay, I'm throwing that out. It's dismissed.
Wow.
I dismissed it. So Gina Rodriguez, again.
How pissed was that cop?
Upset, bro. You should have seen him at court. He was all red.
He was red?
Yeah.
That motherfucking white
he
man
looked like a
red.
cherry head.
Oh, that's fucking funny. All right, Gina Rodriguez.
Gina Rodriguez, she's like, all right, it's time. Like, she knew. She was like, she's even told me before. I skipped out on saying this. She told me before, when you beat that ticket, let me do the story on it. Like, cool, no problem. I beat the ticket. I'm like, Gina, I beat the ticket. She's like, okay, it's time. Get ready for tomorrow. I'm like, cool. That next day, everybody knew my name. Everybody. I have cousins in France. Like, cuz, what'd you do? Like, everybody around the world knew my name as this guy that was driving with his Tesla, his legs out the window, all this stuff. you know, the automotive and tech industry, like I was telling you earlier, was bashing the crap out of me while I had the entertainment world. Yeah. Huge people like getting involved, dropping their comments saying, yo, you're incredible, this and that. So I got bashed and I got good positive
Who were some artists
feedback.
that was supporting you on that?
I seen Diplo made a comment, which was crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But like there was a lot. I mean, I couldn't even go through, like I remember that. Like I couldn't even go through like and accurately tell you right now. Like it was a lot of support. Even like entertainment journalists, you know what I'm saying, from different magazines and stuff like that, was thinking it was cool and putting it more in a positive light than the automotive industry was, right? And the tech industry. They did not like it at all. They were literally like, yo, like this guy is gonna give us a new set of rules. This guy's gonna try to kill autonomous driving before they legalize it and make it actually full self-driving and stuff like that. Like they were giving me a lot of whiplash, but it was cool because all that was promotion, and it's what led to Inside Edition contacting Gina 5 days later saying, hey, we need to put this guy on the air and we need an interview with him. We want a camera up the car and all that. So they come out, they camera up the car. We meet at Gina's house. I take Jim Morit, who's, you know, Inside Edition's like main guy that does big interviews, on a spin. And, you know, like
I see that, bro. He was nervous.
He was a little nervous, you know. I had to show him what I did. You know, we took a selfie with each other and stuff like that. But he was nervous. He was definitely nervous, you know. And I got my chance to spill my beans about how this all came about. And, you know, they pressed me on some questions like, do you think that it was safe and all this stuff? And, of course, I can't say and back that I think it's safe, because I truly don't think it was safe. I was taking a risk being a young, fun person that just kind of wanted to explore new technology, because I'm a tech baby. I love technology, right? So you give a guy like me technology, I'm going to be pressing buttons.
Right?
Right?
I feel that,
Yeah.
You should.
So, yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
All these buttons in the spaceship, man. What does this do?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so did Tesla get that? I feel like you should just have a free Tesla for life.
I felt the same way too. It didn't work out that way. No, it didn't.
Damn.
It didn't. It didn't.
Yeah, yo,
But
Elon,
great
come on, bro. Come on, Elon, man. He
Shout out
he
to
changing
Elon,
the game
bro.
out here, bro.
He's good peoples, man. Like, you know, like, damn. And I know he's seen my interview. You know, when I took Jim Morton on this spin, I engaged it in autopilot. And I picked up a book and read it, and it was, you know, his autobiography. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just, you know, I'm into technology. I'm into Elon, and I think he's cool, and like, you know, like he's super innovative for like, you know, putting his foot down for technology like this and giving it to young people like me and stuff like that. Like, I'm curious about it, and I support it, and I think he's awesome.
All right, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure, man. Shout out Elon, I guess.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Free Teslas, man, all around.
You know what I'm saying? Hashtag
hey,
free Teslas
all day. What would be some advice you would give to somebody that's like trying to make it? You know, like a young kid that really doesn't have any idea. You know what I'm saying? They might be thinking, yo, man, confused and conflicted on like what avenues to go down. What exactly do they want to do in the music industry if they're not an artist, whether it be engineering,
right,
anything, sound tech, anything like that. What advice would you give
I would just say, like, really study the crap out of your market, man. Like, literally see out what you want to do, you know, and like break it down to exactly what you got to do to get there. I mean, it can be intimidating to one, right? Because there's so much to it sometimes, you know, and it's been like that for me through my younger process and age, you know, like, but I just stayed adamant about being determined to like win and get to where I wanted to be. So I almost like didn't mind whatever it took to get there, right? So I would just stay, like, cause it's hard, bro, like to get into the entertainment business. And your question didn't really specify entertainment. It's just like whatever it is they want to do, right? Right. So, I mean, you kind of just make it for what it is, bro. Like, you know, just stay at it and stay that dream fucking reality maker. Like, you got to make your dreams a reality, you know, like, and sometimes that takes a lot of work and it can get intimidating on the way, and just stay strong and just stick with it.
Because a lot of people want to stop.
A lot of people do want to stop.
It's easy to stop.
Right.
You know? But, like, I feel like you just got to break through that wall and, like we said, see the light at the end of that tunnel, man.
That's what you got to do, brother.
Because you could either do that grind, be unhappy to be happy, or you could just fall off the wagon, fall off the train, and just be stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, like, and it's real easy to do that because a lot of challenges come up, like, almost in whatever you do, right? But I know in my industry and what I've been chasing, since my goals reach for such a high place in the competition rate and all that stuff, like I have no choice but to work hard, right? I have no choice but to know what I'm getting into and study my market and to know my competitors, to know how to be better than them.
Right.
Just no choice.
Because it's all competition.
It is.
Like, especially, man, this is the place where everybody's trying to make it, man.
100%.
So many artists, so many engineers, so many producers, like actors, dancers, everything out here, man. So, like, to set yourself apart from everybody else, man, you got to have that work ethic along with the talent. You know
100%.
I always say, like, hard work will be talent if talent's not working hard.
Hey, I love that slogan.
You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you giving me the advice.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you know
This interview ain't over yet, but
you know it.
give me some love.
But
I want to ask, these two questions are a staple of my podcast right now. You know what I'm saying? So you got all the resources in your phone. You got every phone number. Everybody's been waiting for your call. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's been waiting for your call right now, right? Who are the 5 people that you're going to take to your Kanye compound in Montana to cultivate your album? And these 5 people can be artists, producers, a comedian. You want to bring somebody to do skits. Like, it don't matter. Who's the 5 people that you were bringing to make your album?
I'm definitely going to bring The Connect. I'm going to bring Kid Jupiter. I'm going to bring Liam Horne. I'm going to bring my man King David. I'm going to bring, God, who else am I going to bring besides myself and all my other alter egos? I might bring you to film.
Hey, I'm with that.
Because we need to document this shit, bro.
This is the second time I'm coming to the Kanye compound.
Just saying.
The first time I was coming for the vibe and for the skits.
No, but we need to document it.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
My last interview, like the one that's coming out this Wednesday.
So I have to bring you, essentially.
I'm in there, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah, bro.
I'm bringing the camera. I'm bringing the vibes. I'm bringing some weed. We in there, dog. We finna vibe out. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. I love it when people say Bundy McBuckets can come to the compound, man.
Why wouldn't we, bro? We need to film this shit.
Yes. And what kind of vibe do you think your album would be? Like, you know, how do you want people to feel when they get done listening to your album?
They're gonna feel so many different emotions, bro, from happy to sad to hopefully not angry, but just like it's gonna be like an emotional roller coaster for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like genre-wise, you're gonna get different sounds for sure, and I'm gonna pave the way to get my audience to accept that out of me, to where I'm moving from genre to genre, because that is tricky as well. You know, you could lose the tone of your audience, like when you jump maybe too far, too quick, too, you know, like too whatever, right? So like I want to set myself up for that, so by the time they get an album, it's like super versatile, right, within genres, and you're like jumping around, but it's super acceptable by the audience that I've created for like for what I'm doing, right?
You don't want to get stuck in a lane.
No,
you want to be able to venture out.
We're not
going to
get stuck. We're not going to get stuck in a lane. We're not. Nah.
Because there's so much more to a person. You know 100%. Just, I think Drake just did that. He released that one album that people wasn't really rocking with, but it was some different kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So somebody liked it. But a lot of his fans were like, we ain't rocking with it. You know what I'm saying? But it was okay for him to experiment.
Exactly.
It's definitely okay for a person to try something that they're not used to
He's
doing.
an artist, man, just like all of us, bro. So, like, it's okay to paint your pictures, you know, the way that you want to on this month. Why not?
Yeah,
right?
That's dope. That's dope. Hell yeah, bro. That's them facts.
Yeah.
I hope people been writing stuff down this whole interview. You know what I'm saying, bro? Taking notes, man. Take notes. Shout out my man Sad behind the camera over here. He said he writing stuff down, taking some notes, man. It's a little homie over here. Another question I like to ask my podcast guests.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a movie buff. I love movies. You know, ever since VHSs, I had them all, did my thing, bootleg DVDs. You know, now we in the streaming era.
Right.
But one thing I like to ask people is, if you could take one movie, recreate it, and star in it, what movie would you pick?
Batman.
Batman?
Yeah.
Which Batman, though?
First one.
The very first one?
Not the one from the 50s. I'm talking about the first one with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson?
Yes,
Ooh.
I would be Batman, bro. Sorry.
Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman.
Is he?
In the new Flash movie. It's a Flashpoint Flashpoint timeline. So
No way.
Yeah. So Michael Keaton's Batman again.
Bro, what? Turn
Whole
the camera
Batman
off.
card.
No, I'm just kidding.
Whole Batman card, everything,
That's
bro. Are
crazy,
we in
for
there?
real?
No, let's go see that movie, dog.
Bro, what?
Let's take
Say
mushrooms and go
less.
see that movie.
Say less, bro. What? That
Yeah,
sounds
but
dope.
no,
I don't
he's
know about
coming
the
back.
mushroom part, but say less. I'm definitely there at the movies theater.
I'm in
for
there
sure.
off the shroomies, bro.
Wow.
I'm gonna let you know that right now. Let's
Yo,
go.
bro,
No,
I'm
but
such a fan of Michael Keaton playing Batman.
I love Michael Keaton as an actor.
Me
anyways.
too. Me
Anything
too.
He's ever in is
Me
always
too,
amazing.
bro. He
Always
did The
amazing.
Founder so good. Remember that movie?
The McDonald's
The
movie. I only
McDonald's
saw
movie.
like half of that, but he was doing his
He
thing.
he killed it, bro.
Mm.
He's just an incredible actor, like you said.
Mm.
I'm a follower of his acting career as well.
What's a favorite movie for you? Like, what's one movie? If anybody asks, like, yo, man, what's a movie that you just rock with so hard? You can watch it anytime. If you pass it, clicking on the TV, you gotta stop and watch it. Like, you know what I'm saying? What movie is that?
I've been watching Lightyear like over and over again for the last like
You
8
got
months,
kids,
or
too,
not
man.
8 months since it came out and
For
stuff.
real?
Yeah, even without the kids.
For
So
real?
yeah,
Oh,
bro.
it was good.
It's
That
just been my
Socks?
go-to, bro. Yeah,
Socks?
Socks is dope.
I love that cat, bro. I would
Yeah.
have a Socks. He was talking too much.
Yeah, so I've been
but he was
watching
cool.
Lightyear a lot, so that's been my new, like, you know, every time like I can't figure it out and I just want to throw something on.
Just
That's
put
been my
on
movie.
Lightyear.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at Lightyear.
it's
That was a good
soothing,
time.
bro.
Yeah.
And I love space. I'm doing something special around space real soon that I'm not going to talk about right now. But like, yeah,
Future podcast. Come back for another interview.
yeah,
man. We can
you'll
talk
hear
all
about it.
that.
You'll hear about it. But yeah, yeah. I love Lightyear, bro.
Bro, I don't think I'd go into space in my human form. You know what I'm saying? But like, if I died and we do like the spiritual thing, I want to be able to my spirit to just float
Just
to other
float
planets.
there, yeah.
You know, just go see some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That would be my perfect afterlife until I just want. Ooh, my bad, Dylan. I know I hit the microphone. He up here somewhere. He don't
Yeah.
like when I hit the microphone. But like, that would be my perfect afterlife until I just want to move on and do some other shit. I want to go explore a little bit.
Dope.
Yeah,
Dope.
can I do that? Does anybody know if that's possible?
I don't know, do you?
Tell the people what you got coming up, man. Like, what are you excited that you can speak about?
Yeah.
What are you excited about this coming up?
So I'm working on my next set of releases. I'm gonna release some new music this year. My next single will be coming out sometime soon, within the next like coming months. I don't have the exact name of it yet to share with you and the time period that's gonna come out with. But I think I'm gonna drop at least 2 songs this year. So I'm getting ready to do that. And just working with some artists and songwriters that I will really want to be a part of their projects on as well. So I'm making sure that I'm there to do that. And then I have this top secret project that's taking a lot of my time right now that I'm really working on hard. And then you guys will all hear about that soon as well.
Let's go, man. I'm
Yeah.
excited. The people going to be excited, especially after this dope-ass interview. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know what I mean.
One last thing I want you to do, my brother. I want you to look in this camera. I want you to tell everybody where they can find you at on Spotify, Instagram,
Cool.
Apple Music, YouTube, everything, man. Let them know.
For sure. Well, you guys can start with my social media and find me on places like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. My name is Calypso. It's spelled with a K, K-L-Y-P-S-O. Real easy to find. And then you can also find me on Spotify just the same way, and all the other musical platforms that are out there that are DSPs where you can stream music and so forth. I encourage you guys to check out my music video and follow up with me on my next coming singles, because I'm going to release some great music that's going to touch you, and I would love for you guys to just be good listeners of my music.
Hey, like that, man. Tap in with him, support, man. That's my brother Calypso right here, man. Again, really, really appreciate you coming
thanks
through and
for having
chopping it
me,
up
bro,
with me,
for
man.
sure.
This is one of my most favorite interviews that I've
Hey,
done,
man.
You know?
Thank you, bro,
Shout
for
out to
having me.
Lonely Feather Studios, the homie Dylan, a.k.a. Alone, for letting us
Shout
use
out
the
to
studios down
Alone.
here.
Thank you for letting us over here, man. Thank
Beautiful
you.
Malibu home out here, man. It's amazing. Man.
Amazing.
Shout out my dog. I got to get you on the podcast, too. I know you can hear me up there, man. It's kind of weird talking to
He's
you.
up there
No,
for
yeah,
sure.
he's like on the next floor up. But shout out my man. Shout out my man Seb. Shout out my boy Liam Horne. He was here when we first started. That's our brother. He's still here? Yeah. Fucking Liam, you still here?
Oh.
I hear something coming down. Well, shout out my brother Liam Horne
That's
too,
funny.
man. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for the future. You know what I'm saying? Just
Me
see
too,
what you
bro.
gonna do, just see what I'm gonna do, see what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? And man, I hope people really enjoy this interview. You know what I'm saying?
Let's
Because you
go,
spit some
man.
game, dropped some gems, and we had a really dope
Thanks
conversation.
for having
So
me,
again,
bro. For real,
some
bro.
more
It's been
love.
great, bro.
Yes,
for real,
yes,
man.
yes, my
Thank you
brother,
so much.
my brother. So people, man, please like, subscribe, share, be in the comments talking your shit, man. Hit up Calypso, man. Pick his brain, listen to his music. Take care of yourself, man. Drink more water. You know, hit your people up. You
Yeah,
feel me?
definitely do that,
for
for
real,
sure.
man. People looking dehydrated out here, man.
Thank
I
you
don't
guys
like that
so
shit.
much.
Yeah, we out of here. This has been another episode of One on One with Bundy McBuckets. Appreciate y'all.
My brother. Hey, that was fire.
Gotta make room for a fat nigga. Get in mind, give a fuck what you got, nigga. I was down, I was broke, I was that nigga. I was fried, I survived, I ain't tired. I just put all the talk to the side. Went from the thought to this nigga to God. Bars is hard, but this nigga look soft. Polos and loafers had drip before so I'm